Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Tega. If you're new on this channel, welcome. And if you're a subscriber or returning, thanks so much for coming. In this video today, I'll be showing you how to make a bishop's collar. And what you need to do is to measure the round neck of your top. You need to measure after joining the shoulders together and everything. You want to take the measurement all the way around. That's the first thing to do before you start drafting. I've got 16.5 inches. I want you to ignore the neckline of the top. That's my top and it has a bishop collar, but I'm using it for this tutorial. Instead of a pattern paper, you want to grab your interfacing. You should be cutting this color first on an interfacing, but here I'm using a pattern paper first. It's all good. You can cut it on a pattern paper and transfer on your interfacing, but you should be using your interfacing here. You want to start by ruling a line across like this. Whatever your neck width is, you want to make sure you take that on your tape measure. You want to fold your tape measure into half. And whatever you have, that will give you half of the neckline. So I've got 8 here and a quarter. So 16.5 divided by 2 will give me 8.25. So that is what I've got on my tape measure. If you have a curved ruler, this is the time to use your curved ruler. Then you need to grab it and place it on the paper. I want you to take note of the angle at which I've placed the ruler. Can you see that angle over there? And I'm just gonna go up by 8.25 from there. So I'm gonna go up by 8.25. Half of the neckline circumference. You want to make the marking and you want to draft out the curve. So that's your 8.25. Now you want to draft out the collar. I want you to take note the side of the paper is on fold. Make sure your paper is on fold on the side there. So you want to curve it out. Now you want to grab your tape measure and make sure you have the half of your neckline circumference for the collar. Make sure it is accurate because it is absolutely necessary. You need to make sure it's right. Then make the marking again to be sure. Now we're going to move on to the next stage. Once that is done, you want to add the height of your collar. The height of the collar I'm taking here is 1 inch. If you want, you can go for 1.5 inches, but I'm marking 1 inch here. So it's up to you how high you want your collar to be. So I'm going ahead here to mark my 1 inch up to the 8.25. You want to grab your curved ruler again and connect all the dots together. Once that is done, you want to grab your scissors and cut. Like I said, this needs to be cut on your interfacing. So if you notice, I haven't added any seam allowance. At this stage, like I said before, you should be cutting these on your interfacing. You should have something like this. As you can see, the collar is curved. It's curved out. And now you want to place the interfacing on your fabric and grab your iron and iron on. This is the stage you need to grab your iron and iron onto your fabric. But because I'm using the pattern paper, I can't do that. But in your case, iron on your interfacing. So now I'm going to draft out the collar and I'm going to add 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. You need to add 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around, all over the collar. Once you've added your seam allowance all over, it's time to cut. Remember, the interfacing has already been ironed on to one fabric piece of the collar, so you want to place it on another fabric and cut. And you can use this method instead of the way I cut the other one. You want to place it like this and cut it out. Don't forget the interfacing has been ironed on to the fabric. So you're going to grab the fabric and the interfacing together and place it on another fabric and cut out. It's going to have all the allowance, the 1/2 inch allowance all the way around. So you want to imagine this has already got the 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. So you need 2 pieces. So I will add the seam allowance and cut. You should have 2 pieces like this, one with the interfacing ironed on and one plain. So I've just placed the interfacing on this. Like I said, it should be ironed on from the start. So here you want to go ahead and stitch that side like that and stitch all the way there and stitch that bit as well. You don't stitch the bottom bit, just stitch the upper bit, right? And that's it. I went ahead here and did some hand stitching to show you what it should look like. So once I did the hand stitching, I flipped over, as you can see. Once you do yours, flip over, you need to iron. Grab your iron and iron down like that. You can see here the collar is taking shape. With bishop collars, you can either have the opening at the front or at the back of your top. So it's either way. You can place it at the front if it has an opening, or you can place it at the back if the back has the opening. At this stage, you want to attach the rest of the opening at the neckline of your top and your collar is ready. I just want to say many a times a lot of people would like to shape out their opening, where the collar is, especially at the front. So you want to grab your scissors and give it a bit of a shape like this. But if you want it the way it's been, drafted, straight, you can leave it, but most times this gives it a bit of a beauty, as you can see. Once your collar is attached, you should have something like this. As you can see here, the opening is at the back and not the front. So like I said, you can either have the opening at the front or the back, whatever your preference is. But most of the time when you have the opening at the front, then you can shape it and style it the way you want, like the curve. But if the opening is at the back and you need to apply a zip, then there's no need for a curve. I hope this tutorial will help someone out there looking at drafting a bishop collar with ease. Thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate you. I'll see you in my next video. But till then, you want to look after yourself. Bye for now.